Hello everybody. So welcome to part 2 of Go interfaces. Uh, Today we'll cover the example for setter injection. So this is one of the types of dependency injection. In the previous part we covered interface injection. So now we'll briefly go through what is setter injection. So basically setter injection is a form of dependency injection where the dependencies of the struct are provided through setter methods. This allows you to inject different implementation of the dependencies at runtime. So let us take the same example which we did in the last time. So I will try to hard type whatever we did in the previous section. We'll create the interface. We'll use the same method which we did last section. So here we'll return the user. So let us create the user struct. Let us have the minimal fields like name of type string, and obviously ID. So we already know that in order to create a dependency or to inject a dependency, we always create one more struct. Let us say in this case struct which has this field, interface field. So right now we'll create, instead of creating the interface injection, here we'll create one function, or so in this case we're calling it as method of user service. Here we are calling set injection dependency. Let's call something like that. So here obviously it will be going to take the user repository. So here we'll user repository equals whatever the repository we are passing here. So hope this makes sense. So let us now try to create struct types that implement get user by ID. So as we taken in the last example, we'll create the struct called as in memory repository. Obviously it will be having one field called as in memory of type map. So this is how we are storing in memory. Again, for this also let us create a constructor for this in memory repository. Which will return in memory repository hope till here it makes sense. Now let us try to implement this get user by ID for this using this struct, so that you know how to do it. We'll have the pointer receiver of type in memory and the method definition. So here you can write any logic. So let us write the logic. So let us pass the ID here. So if it is present, we will return what will return. You will return the user and the error as nil. Otherwise, we will return nil for the user and error. So this is how we are trying to return an error here. User not found for the ID. So this is a minimal example, right? So from the compared to last example, we created this called a set injection dependency method for this service struct. So this is the two important things. that make up the setter injection example. So now let us write main function in order to call it. So obviously we'll create the new in-memory repository, correct? New in-memory, correct? And let me create an user service and set injection dependency. So you already know that it takes the of type interface. So any struct that implements that interface can be passed here. So in this case, new in-memory repository, which will return in-memory repository, which in turn implements get user by ID, correct? It means that this struct type implements this method. So that we can pass from here, correct? So let us try to run it. So user.set injection dependency. So now what we can do is we can call it get user by ID. Let us pass some example. So this anyway is returning user and error. Let us not return here. Let us try to print. Let us try to print the error. Otherwise, we'll print the user. So let us make use of user here. So now I'm trying to run here. Let us see the example, the output. So you can see here, anyway we did not, okay, we're seeing some invalid memory address at this line number 71. Get user by ID. It is returning pointer type. Let us create pointer types, pointer receivers. So you can now see here user not found for the ID 2. So this is just an example. So you can try to work around and test it yourself in your machine locally. So the main important things are to understand here are these two parts. So user service and a method for user service called set injection dependency. Let me say that there is another method, another struct that implements get user by ID. Let's say for example another DB. Okay, if I create a DB called as DB repository, and here it is having some call to DB, and it also implements get user by ID. Here I'm just trying to return nil and nil for example purpose. So now I can create new DB repository. Let us fill some field here. So right now I can do this, I can just directly inject it. So just call set injection and directly pass the, now let us also get the DB connection using new DB repository. and it will be implementing the our method. We can just directly call it. So here you can see it. You don't need to create instance of user service every time. You can just call this setter method and pass the struct that implements the method. Hope this example is useful. Please try it once in your local machine and let me know in the comment section. Thank you.